Hey everybody, and welcome to the Block Party. We do everything nerdy news. I'm Captain Zeus. That's Relatable Panda. Panda. And today we're going to go over the 28 Easter eggs and details you may have missed from the WandaVison MCU show episode 4. And we'll go delve into all of those right after this intro. So stay tuned. All right, to start it off in the intro, when Monica, who's aka Spectrum, when she's rematerializing into this episode right after the blip, you hear a lot of quotes from the Captain Marvel movie. But one thing that does stand out to a lot of people is Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, calling her Lieutenant Trouble. Just a little something for everybody there. The hospital room that she is in at the time is Room 104, which is a reference to Avengers number 104. That's the issue where Avengers and the X-Men team up to fight the Sentinels, who strapped Wanda to a machine that will cause a solar flare that will sterilize humans, allowing Sentinels to breed out the genetic variation that causes mutations.
All the mutants.
Yeah. It's a nod. It's a nod. Just a very strange one, to say the least.
I'm glad we don't really live in that era.
Maria Rambeau, who's Photon, she is confirmed to be the founder of S.W.O.R.D., just like kind of Agent Carter was the founder of S.H.I.E.L.D. So a little bit of a nod, yeah, essentially. I'm like, there's another
Rambo,
word for it.
not Rambo.
Whatever. Maria, we're gonna just Photon, whatever.
Okay. Just before they come at you in the comments for that one.
Rambo, Sylvester Stallone and Maria's gonna come at me. The S.W.O.R.D. HQ, it does resemble S.H.I.E.L.D.'s HQ from Winter Soldier, as well as Hydra's HQ in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it was the whole, different world inside their minds kind of deal, with the whole symbol or like the statue of their logo up in the middle of this large empty space.
A lot of pride.
A lot of pride. Looks pretty cool. Their the S.W.O.R.D. director, Tyler Hayward, he's an MCU original character who's not in the comics. However, he does share the same last name as Brian Hayward, who was a Hydra member in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is an obvious nod because there's a lot of Hydra references in the show as is, and knowing Marvel in general, they're deliberately putting things in there. There's no way that is a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
In his office, there is the diplomas. It's in the shape of a hexagon. Lots of hexagon references in this show as is. Now, the color scheme for S.W.O.R.D. is blue, black, and white. This could be a possible reference to the Fantastic Four, whose color schemes are exactly the same.
Blue, black, and white.
Exactly. Now, the S.W.O.R.D. director mentions that they were focusing more on, AI, and nanotech was one of the big things, which nanotech is the same tech that Iron Man uses for his suit in Infinity Wars. So that's a little something there. Monica does acknowledge that space is full of threats and allies, which is a nod to her relationship with the Skrulls, which that's from Captain Marvel, and we know that the Skrulls are quote-unquote allies. They could be bad guys later on, who knows? It's the Skrulls. Now, the S.W.O.R.D. director does mention that an astronaut training program isn't going so well. This could be another possible Fantastic Four reference to their most notorious origin, that they're up in space, doing astronaut stuff, researching, and then explosion, and then they got their powers. Watch the original Fantastic Four movie to find out more details. Not the Fan-Four-Stick. Not Fan-Four-Stick. Monica's S.W.O.R.D. vehicle number, which is numbered 8-8512. That is a reference to the Vision and Scarlet Witch 12-issue limited series that started in 1985, which just so happens to be where the show is pulling a lot of plot points from. So another comic-specific reference there. You do see Agent Wu pulling out card out of his hand, similar to Scott and Ant-Man and the Wasp doing more magic tricks. Yes, a lot of cool little nods there.
Did Scott really teach him the trick though, or did he learn it on his own?
I mean, YouTube's a very powerful ally. And then Westview on the sign One, it says home is where you make it, which we've already kind of established that reference previously in another episode. And they also had the elevation was 203. Now, this could be a possible reference to Avengers issue number 203, where the Beast and Wonder Man are searching for a boy in the sewers. Now, later on in this episode, you do see the beekeeper agent using the sewers to try to get into Westview. So there's that, which is pretty neato.
Yep. Moving on, we then see Monica place a drone down to try to do surveillance on the city of the town of Westview. The drone number is actually S57, which is a nod to Avengers comic number 57, which is actually Vision's first appearance. After that, we have the Sword agents are seeing a little bit more episodes than what we're seeing as viewers. That is a nod to Darcy and Jimmy being there, trying to get contact with Wanda. She references that Wanda washes different dishes once every episode. We've only seen her do it once. They're seeing a lot more that we're seeing. Then we jump to them finding out who these people really are. We got Herb, whose real name is John Collins. Mrs. Hart, whose real name is Sharon Davis. They're actually the art directors that are directing the art for WandaVision, so to speak. On that same board, we realize that Agnes is up there, and she's the only one up there that does not have an ID associated with her name. Possible setup for who's maybe really pulling the strings here. We also see that Dottie wasn't on the board. That could be just because they haven't gotten to her yet. They haven't ID'd her yet. Could be a bigger picture. We don't know. On that same board, we see Norm, whose real name is Abhilash. And when we look on it, he actually has some notes under there that state that he has concern for his sister and his father. The reason that Sword knows this is because he was awoken by Vision. And he kind of expresses that concern, and then Vision releases him, and he goes back to Norm. Interesting note on this one, the way that they wrote the notes down, the name is misspelled. They misspelled his name by swapping the L and the B compared to what his ID states. Now, could be very deliberate. MCU has been known to do things very deliberately. Coincidence? I think not. Then we have the town blueprint, which is again in the shape of a hexagon. Then we jump to the whiteboard that Jimmy Woo was writing on with multiple questions that we find ourselves asking
every day
by week. Why a hexagon? Why sitcoms? One thing that did stand out on this one is Jimmy Woo suspects the Skrulls might be behind this. That's an interesting theory. We'll see where that goes. Then we get to the scene that really has everybody buzzing. Pun intended on that one, I guess. That's when Wanda kind of turns around and sees Vision dead. Like, dead. Like, Mind Stone ripped out, Infinity War dead. To which she freaks out. And then, boop, he's back to normal. Once he comes back to normal, he goes to Wanda and he says, Wanda, we don't really have to live here. We can go somewhere else. To which Wanda states, we're not going anywhere. I have everything under control. Which is a nod to Wanda possibly being the one in control of this whole situation. Possibly. Once that ends, they're walking to the couch. We start hearing in the background Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix playing, which is a possible nod to everybody in Westview being under a spell. Interesting enough, Wanda and Vision are trying to do this old sitcom thing where they both look at the camera at the same time. Vision decides to look a little bit early, though, and makes direct eye contact with the camera to us, the viewers, possibly knowing somebody is watching this in a cry for help, which is not only the first time he's done this. Upon further discovery, we did fail to mention this one, but he also does it in episode 3.
Yeah.
He's broke the fourth wall twice, possibly very deliberately. Again, MCU doesn't do things without any reason.
Yeah, and it was actually really creepy when I saw it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's just chills.
Yep. But
Now,
that wraps up the Easter egg portion of this.
Some other stuff that you guys may have missed, and some questions that you guys are probably going to be asking or haven't asked yet. Monica was sucked into the barrier, whereas Jimmy was just unable to enter. Agent Franklin, who is AKA the Beekeeper, where did he go after the whole rewritten, reverse
Uno
there?
reverse card,
literally. And who's Jimmy's missing person? Possibly Ralph, someone we haven't seen throughout this entire series but consistently mentioned. This is just some things that we've kind of thought up on, but you guys can let us know in the comments. Tell us what you think, what your theories are, because there is a lot. We'll try to maybe do another theory vid as soon as we can. Maybe next week after some more spicy stuff comes out. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But don't forget to like and subscribe on this vid as well.
If y'all have anything that y'all want to add to this, please mention it in the comments. We will bring it up next video. If y'all have any theories, any questions, I mean, we'll be more than happy to answer those too. Mm-hmm. Be on the lookout for Marvel putting trailers out. I know that some of these trailers do have a lot of information in them, even though they're 30-second clips. And there's a lot of theory that can go in those too. Maybe we'll touch on those in a theory episode. But yeah. Yeah,
if you want to see the rest of the Easter eggs in the other episodes that are out, check out our other videos. We have a whole playlist of the current episodes.
Link will be somewhere on my face.
Probably, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Or in the description, but we'll find out. It'll be somewhere. You'll find it. And, just tell us how you feel. Tell us what you think. What's your favorite color? The whole shebang. I'm Captain Zeus. That's Relatable Panda. And we appreciate you guys watching the video. And we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.